Hey guys, today we got a Volvo Penta 5.7 DPSXM model. First we were out here for an issue with steering, which we did a steering cable and everything brand new back here. But this engine vibrates really bad, and I think we've got a compression issue. So I'm gonna let you guys listen to it crank. Let me turn the battery switch on and listen to how it cranks. The cranking doesn't sound even. It sounds like we have one dead cylinder. Oh, look. It's dumping oil out of the oil filter. Okay, so we got here nice and bright and early in the morning. We're doing an oil change on this bad boy. Basically because of the issue we had where this oil filter decided it wanted to grenade. So I'm gonna start spinning this off and get it out of the way, get a new one on, get new oil in, and then we'll do a compression test finally. So we got out about 4 quarts and a little bit, maybe a quarter or an eighth. Got our new filter on, and we're gonna fill it up with oil and crank it over and get some compression readings. Well, here we go on this. Trying to get you, this is the starboard side of the engine. We'll start with taking the boots off. Okay, there's one. I try to set them in order too, so that I don't get confused later on. 2, sometimes they're short enough, like they'll have different lengths, so you'll know they're obviously not. 3. There we go. Okay, all 4 are off. Now we'll go for doing plugs. Now when you have uneven compression like what you saw when I tried to crank it, usually on saltwater vessels, it's going to be exhaust valves. And noticing that it's got new manifolds, my guess is it's probably exhaust valves. Not like a lifter or anything like that. Not sure yet, but we'll find out. And I'm going to set all the spark plugs in order, so I'll lay them out and then you can see them. Okay. Sometimes when you break them free, there's carbon buildup in the threads and they're almost impossible to deal with. Ouch. Hopefully you guys can kind of see what I'm doing, because I'll tell you what, I can't. Hey guys, we work really hard to try to bring you these videos, so if they help you at all, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll try to help as much as we can. Thank you so much. 3, 1, 2, 3. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Done. I'm just gonna break them all free on this side, see if that's faster. So let's take an up close and personal look at each plug. If you want to know, this is the front of the engine, this is the rear. So we're going to take a look at each plug. That one, a little dark, not that bad. This one is super dark, just wet with fuel. This one, super dark, wet with fuel. So I think our 2 cylinders that have problems are going to be these. This one is dark on one side, light on the other, so it might be an injector thing. If we're looking on this side though, see the porcelain, nice and brown, white with a little brown mark, light brown, light brown. So This side, 2, 4, 6, and 8 are probably going to be fine on compression. What I'm looking for is 3 and 5 right here. These two look like they have a problem. Same with maybe 7 and maybe 1. So we may have had a head that had a serious problem here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start compression on 1, 3, 5, and 7. Or actually, you know what? I'm going to do it on 2, 4, 6, and 8 and see where our baseline is for our good side. Because if our good side's no good still, then we got to go from there. My guess is, though, that it's good because there's no oxygen sensors, so there is no feedback. So this is what it is from factory programming as far as what the color of the spark plugs look. To perform a compression test, first turn on your battery switch, and then put your engine all the way to the neutral D10 position where it will not be in gear, but it is wide open throttle. Next, go back to your ignition coil right here and disable spark, as well as disable fuel. I have the fuel pump harness disconnected. Next, you're going to want to thread your compression tester into the cylinder you plan to do a compression test on. We have 188 psi of compression. That's good. A factory engine has around 200 per cylinder on a 350 small block. 178, 182, yeah, 188. Okay, let's go to the other side. Okay, here we are on the other side. We're gonna do a quick little compression. And I always do my compressions cold to figure out the actual health of the engine. Because if you do it warm, you can actually raise numbers. So I like doing it cold. Over 200. It actually shows 200 and I'd say 2. 162. Oh yeah, we found our dead cylinder. 50 psi, not even, like 42. So cylinder number 5 is dead. It sounds like a valve isn't closing is what it sounds like to me. And 202 psi. So cool. So we're gonna do a leak down test and see where this number 5 cylinder is having a problem. Okay, so if you want to figure out how to know if you're on TDC on the cylinder you're at, and you have a crab style cap like this, you'll see the numbers of the cylinders lined here. So this one says 5. So what we can do is we can take the distributor cap off, and you can see the post ends right at the back. So as long as our distributor rotor is pointing right at the back, our cylinder number 5 should be at top dead center compression. So let me take it off and see where it is and move it over, and then we'll get a leak down. Okay, so looking at this rotor, if you look at the hump right here, and you look at this right there, it's right at the hump. So we are on cylinder number 5, top dead center compression. So what we're gonna do is get our leak down tester for our standard size, and it doesn't matter the thread depth on this as long as it's not too long, because we're looking not for compression but for leak down. Put it in, and then what we're going to do is we're going to get a balance on our gauge, and then we're ready to go. I'll show a balance. Okay, So what we have is a little dive tank with a regulator attachment set up on it with an air hose. Okay, so on this, we're gonna pull down there we go. Okay, so we go this way. It looks like we don't have any more pressure. So let me increase the pressure on the regulator. Okay. I'm gonna go down and then up until I'm exactly at 100. So let's see it slowly move. Bam, right there on 100. Now they're both set. Now we're gonna plug it in and see where it leaks from. We're gonna listen for oil cap versus intake versus exhaust. And listen to that. So we have that running. And take a look out here. I hear air bubbles out of the transom. See the air bubbles coming up? Let's see if we can see them. Maybe not. I heard them to start with. Let's see. So it's not coming out the intake because I don't hear it out the intake. Let me see, hold on. Set this down for a minute. I hear it out the exhaust. You hear that transom noise? I can feel it in the exhaust pipe. So we've got an exhaust valve that's stuck. That's at TDC number 1. So there we go. Now we know. The reason I suspected this engine had a problem is I want you to listen to this as I crank. Do you hear how there's that dead spot? That spot where the starter speeds up is typically where it has less resistance, meaning one cylinder is easy to turn over because there's no compression. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna now get it started. Now once I get it started, we'll take a look and see if you can see the shaking on it on the video. So set it back to neutral before you start it. I'm setting this on a level item. Or let me see if I can. See how much it shakes? That's a complaint. So this engine is totally dead on one cylinder.